directly affect the community tonight, and so I'm going to ask Antwon and the folks with A2D to prepare to come forward. One of the projects that we've been working on for quite some time, and that we're so pleased to get support from Invest Atlanta, is something we used to call the Fort Mac FiberNet. We now call it eCommunity Fort Mac. What this is a multi-gigabit network that will allow not only future residents and businesses at Fort Mac, but residents in the surrounding community to have choice in their access to high-speed internet providers. And we are excited that A2D is here tonight to let you know where we are in that project. We're grateful again to Invest Atlanta for their grant for $410,000 to help us launch this project. And it's we've ordered the equipment, and the CEO of A2D Inc., Antwon Alsobrook, is here to give us an update on that. Now, Antwon doesn't like to brag, but he is the head of the largest and fastest growing black-owned telecom company in the United States of America. So we are thrilled to have him as a partner with us as we are building this networking capacity here at Fort Mac. So with that, Antwon.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I don't know how to follow that, but I do appreciate it. Again, thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to come and speak in front of you. I'm going to do my best to make my voice carry. It doesn't do very well, but got a lot to cover here. A2D has started the project officially. We have completed the design phase of the project. We have submitted permits for the network to the state of Georgia DOT, as well as the city of Atlanta. Councilman Shepherd, we can use your help with getting some of these permits for the city through, so anything you help with us, we greatly appreciate it. Okay, excellent,
we'll
excellent. All right. To link the campus to the world, we will start with construction of our backbone fiber, and part of that will be started here on campus. So our objective is once we get the permits, we'll start actual physical construction here on campus, and then begin the process of extending out in order to connect it to our existing fiber network, which is over near the belt line. So once we get the permits, we'll start construction. We're actually going to start delivering materials here on campus on Friday, as well as getting things prepared for that. We're going to start seeing construction activity start here this quarter going into the second quarter. Our goal is to activate network systems on campus near the end of the second quarter. We're hoping to have an activation event that allows citizens to come to Fort Mac and get an interactive representation of the network just beyond showing blinking lights. We will give more information regarding the actual proposed event once we have a location that we've figured out with the part of Atlanta. We try to figure out the best place to have it, as well as the different technology partners we can come to help give people a better understanding of what fiber means and what the connectivity means. As part of the partnership with Fort Mac, A2D was given a long-term lease of Building 102, which was built in the 1800s. The building is considered a historical site, therefore it can't be extensively modified to suit typical business operations. Taking over an old building that can't be modified is a challenging, of course, for most businesses. The fact that it was the former police station, equipped with a fully functioning jail and questionable use areas, I would imagine that most people wouldn't even want to go in. However, when I first
talk about the torture chamber, come on.
You said it, I did. Okay. However, when I first walked into the building, I felt something totally different. See, I'm from Atlanta, and like many of our at-risk youth, I got in trouble and had to experience the trauma of potentially having a one-way ticket to jail. But only with God's grace and mercy am I here today in front of you. So when I walked into that campus police station for the first time, I instantly felt a divine connection between my past, my present, and my future. To that end, I knew just what to do with the building. Since there are limits on what can be renovated, we're going to convert the entire building into A2D's long-term field operations center. Staff that operate out of this building will support the homes and businesses that are connected to the eCommunity Fort Mac network. The old police station has 5 fully functioning jail cells, each equipped with metal cots and toilets. The police, when they left the campus during the military shutdown, they literally just took the prisoners out and left everything that you can think of in there. So we're gonna get it cleaned up and get it ready. And for the sales, we're gonna convert the toilets, we're gonna cover them up, and we're gonna take the metal cots and we're gonna retrofit them to put racks so we can have our equipment, servers, equipment, network components in the actual jail cell. We're gonna paint the walls in order to give a historical context of Fort Mac, and then also to be able to demonstrate the technology future that we're going. We will leave the 5th jail cell exactly as it is. My goal is to enable community organizations and government agencies that mentor at-risk youth to bring them to our facility to see the differences that their choice can make and where it can lead them. I want the youth to understand how the function of their future destination can change whether they embrace a life of crime or they embrace a life of education. So just like me, when I first saw a jail cell, I had to make a choice, crime or education. I chose education, and now I'm here in front of you. And I'm taking that same visual and I'm putting technology in it that shows the future. But I'm leaving one to show, hey, you either take that path to crime, this is what your destination. You take your path in education, this is what the future can be. We want to make that available to the public. We're going to be working with Brian and the other development components in order to extend the fiber from that facility to the different areas in order to allow them to have the same level of technology that you see on the high-tech campuses at Georgia Tech, a lot of enterprises. We want that to be here in Fort Mac. After the network has been activated in the old police station, we begin delivering connectivity to campus facilities that are currently occupied or ready to be ready. We want to start delivering fiber to the surrounding neighborhoods as soon as the network is active. But before we can start, we need everyone's help to get the word out about eCommunity Fort Mac. We need everyone that lives near Fort Mac to go to our website and submit their information so that we can gauge interest and help our participating providers market their services. Once we get enough service orders, we can start delivering fiber outside the campus. To help us accelerate delivering fiber to the community, please tell others to go to the following website: eCommunitynetworks.org. That's eCommunitynetworks.org/Fort Mac Atlanta.
We'll be sending that link out to all the folks who are on our e-blast list, but still, you may want to.
Is that Fort FT or FORT?
FORTMAC Atlanta.
Is that networks plural?
Could you repeat that once more, please?
Yep. eCommunity, that's eCommunity, networks, networks.org/Fort Mac Atlanta.
For the folks who are not familiar what that means to have fiber, who's fiber, can you explain that in just about 30 seconds?
I can do more than that.
Okay.
All right. So you actually caught me. I was saying, for those who are still unsure
Okay.
what eCommunity is, I have a few simple answers. Number one, eCommunity is not a service like internet and cable TV. It is purely the infrastructure, which includes fiber optic cable, conduit, and equipment. You have Xfinity, you have Google Fiber, all of them provide the infrastructure, but the service as well. This is an infrastructure no different than Atlanta Gas and Light. You get the gas pipe, but you can choose from multiple providers to deliver your gas over. That's what eCommunity is. It is the infrastructure. eCommunity is also built to break the traditional norms of how telecom is delivered and to provide an alternative to the community it serves. We deliver a new fiber to your home alongside the existing phone and cable lines. We then connect the fiber in your home to our, what we call eCommunity gateway. So there's a device that when you place in your home, no different than a cable modem, it has our fiber connected to it. At that point, you can plug in your home computer, your home networking, your TV, and so forth. No different than how you do Comcast, AT&T, and so forth. So it's a completely separate network. We're not using theirs. It's completely autonomous and different. The difference between eCommunity and what you have now is the level of options that are available. With the phone and cable company, all you get is what they provide. With eCommunity, you can get not only what they provide, but you also get services from others with varying options and price models. If you want to cut the cord and only get an internet package and Netflix, you can do so with eCommunity. There are many a la carte options that are available because the infrastructure is separate from the service. That's the change that's happening. eCommunity Fort Mac is also not owned or controlled by any of the cable and phone companies. Therefore, we are committed to meeting the needs of the community, not the conglomerates. So our objective is to connect everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic condition. We're trying to find ways to make sure everyone has access. We're trying to break the digital divide. Another key difference, once your home is connected to eCommunity, if you find yourself unable to afford services, we will not disconnect you from the network. We are ready to work with local nonprofits and government agencies to help you get direct access to the community-based websites, applications, and contents that you may need, such as direct access to .edu websites, .gov, and so forth. Because we feel that if you can't afford to get to BET.com, you need to get to the Department of Labor website. So we've created a mechanism to allow that to happen. In closing, eCommunity Fort Mac is a new alternative that will enable this community to access the same type of services that other communities enjoy and much more. We are here, we are ready to be a long-term partner of this community. I'm from Atlanta, so this is a direct benefit that I want to make sure it happens. Thank you.
Will you open the question? Maybe get training or do some kind of work.
Yes, so to answer your question, yes. So number one, we have two types of construction efforts. You have them called the large conduit install, where we have local contractors that we already hear that are working with us, and they understand that they have to hire local. They have to first go through WorkSource Atlanta, because that's a requirement here. But also we're looking at, as that portion of the network is built, that's why we have a facility here. We start recruiting people from the neighborhood that are interested in the 3 phases of construction. You have what we call outside plants, so this is the stuff that's in the ground in the roads and streets. Then you have the actual fiber cable and devices that connect to the home. And then you have what goes in the home. How do you set that up? So you got 3 different skill sets. So those who have to go in the home, of course, got to be able to pass some level background, because you don't want to expose residents to different challenges. But those who do work outside the home, we have a whole lot more flexibility with that. But that also opens the door, just because we may have found a space for you in the world of construction, there's a whole nother aspect, which is the technology side. For example, we want to get with local entrepreneurs in the tech industry, local film producers, to help them produce content and applications to put on the network. So for example, if you're a young entrepreneur and say, hey, look, I want to create my own channel, I have a lot of original content, we can make that available on the network and people can subscribe to it right here. So there's different things we're going to be working to try to stimulate tech-based jobs where your background is no longer an issue, because it's all about what you're able to produce. So we look at, from my background, I look at technology as one of those gateways where your education or your history doesn't determine your future. If you got a will, you got the creativity, we can help make it happen.
So, I guess with that, has there been a plan to say work with the high school in the area or some of the middle school, educating them, or the Atlanta area tech, and it's probably something of the opportunities that could be available?
That is definitely on the drawing board. We have stopped short of engaging, because it's one of those things you gotta show something before somebody takes you serious. So we wanted to get to this space and, hey, look, come and see what we're doing. Now let's talk about how we can co-align resources and initiatives to kind of work together. So we consider this as day one. And that's the reason why we said about the facility, it becomes a place where you can now come and now share ideas.
And the other one, you made a slight mention of someone of affordability. And the question is, especially with a lot of our elementary school kids, middle school, they don't have internet at home. Well, is there some type of program or way that, I know AT&T, one of them will provide if they get public service or whatever, but to make internet available, or either some easier to access internet sites or whatever where they can get the internet at home to get that help.
So we got two ways we're solving that. Number one, what I did not disclose is we're planning on doing a wireless, private LTE wireless network on top of this, which means that students who may not get direct access to our fiber because we're not there yet, we're gonna enable them to get modified devices that connects back to the network. And we're gonna be working with the city schools to figure out how we can connect them right to the schools, where instead of them getting out to the internet, they go through the school and the school determines where they need to go. There's a lot of technical nuances that have to go through that, but that's what we're planning on overlaying as well, to quickly get people access to those. Because we realize that you have different programs with AT&T and T-Mobile try to give modified devices, but they have a data cap limit. You know, by the time the student gets about 10 to 12 days in school of the month, they already hit their data cap limit. This will eliminate that, so that the child cannot continue to go. So first objective, of course, get wireless connectivity to students, partnership with the school. The second objective is to get fiber to their home, which allows the greatest level of opportunity. They can still get to the school, but they can also get to the programs, and then for the parents, if they can afford, can get to the other services. So we like to separate all this stuff. We don't want you to have to just pay to the internet to get to everything. We want to create all those options that fits within where you want.
So one of the things I like is when some of those are available, if you would let us know.
Absolutely.
So as community organizations, we can take it back to our prospective schools and talk to the principals and tell them it's available, and then we'll pass on the contact.
So, you know, we're at the beginning stages, but I believe once we roll this out, I feel confident, Judy, that we're gonna roll it out in a way that's gonna be conducive to everybody around in the community, in terms of the school systems and everybody else. And so, these are great questions. I'm sure Antwon is gonna be back as it gets closer and closer in terms of rollout. We're excited about it, as you can see. I'm gonna take a couple more questions, and then, so Brian wants